This is a continuation of the FPS tutorial series, and it is part 4. And in this video we will be doing a canvas hurt that would say the player got hurt. When you play Battlefield or Call of Duty, you can see that the modern Call of Duty series, you can see that the edges of the screen are filled with red blood. So that is basically a simulation, or say a symbol of getting hurt, right? So that we'll try to implement today, and we will be making a particular HUD for the player, and we will be showing how much ammo does the player carry and how much health does he have, and we will reduce it as he gets hurt. So that is basically what this tutorial will be about. So as you can see, we have the old scene set up, and we have the widget body first person controller, and you can see that the widget body can be used for the player getting hurt. Let's create a platform for the player. Actually, we will be trying to make it natural and make it look like the player jumped off a platform and landed in a lower platform. For he will be getting hurt if the platform is too far away. Suppose this is the minimum distance that he can take for the damage. We will be putting this at here so that he will get hurt when he jumps from this point to this point. So that is basically what we will be trying to emulate, and we will just leave this plain 2, and we'll go to the player and add an FSM that says health, and we will be covering this as well. So we'll go to variables and create a global variable. Actually, you should create a variable first and then mark it as global. So it is going to be a float, or you can actually make it an int. Let's say player health, or say just health, and click on add. And now you can see that this, okay, now go to global variables and new variable integer health. So this will be visible in all the FSMs of the game. So that is basically what a global variable is. So now we will declare how much health does the player have. So that I set it to 100 and just close it, and I'll go to collision event. This actually takes the input where the player hits a particular collider. So all the colliders in the scene can interact with this particular action. So this collision event is going to detect the collision, enter, and the collide tag is set to untagged. You can put that to surface 1. I created a tag for these planes, so I'll just take it surface 1, and then I'll send an event which I'll say check for hurt. So, and we will be storing the force because we need actually we need to set a particular force as a default force that he can take, but if it crosses that level he will be getting hurt. So that is basically what we'll try to emulate. And force is you can name it hit force or something like that. So this will be going to state 2, in which we will be comparing the float, so that it will be a float compare, and the float we will be comparing as the hit force. And before going into the FSM we will be actually testing what exactly the force is going to be. So you can see that the force is stored here. I'll make this inspector so that we can see what force does the player hit. So state 2 float compare, actually we'll just run the game without any, so that we can take a note of what force should we set as the constant force. So as you can see we have the health FSM right here. Okay, this is basically being okay. Let's just add a frame event and also finished back to this. Float compare is say 50. If it is greater than 50, okay, let's say 20 or something like that. Greater than 20, then we'll say hurt player every frame, so that it compares the float. And we can hit play, and now you can see that the hit force is being updated as we hit a particular object. So as I ran and jumped, the hit force is to 11. And we need, this is 7. So okay, let's just stop it and say we'll just drag this a little bit more down. So now we'll be checking what the force will be like. So make sure that you select the player while testing out. Okay, we can say 10 is the limit, and if it goes beyond 10 then we are getting hurt. So now this will be int subtract, or let's say int add, and you can type in a negative value for here. You can say 10 is deducted or let's say -5 for jumping a very big platform. So, and this goes back to the first state. So now let's just create a, go to the main camera and create a particle system, and this will be, set the speed to 0.5, something like that, and put the color to red. And you can see that this, I mean, we are trying to emulate what exactly the hurt canvas is going to be look like. So let's increase. Ouch, that is too much. So 100. Nope, that is weird. Okay. Okay, this is looking good. Okay, this looks good. As far as I know, you can tweak it. You can tweak the particle system as you like, and you can add color over lifetime, make it alpha at the end, and go to red at the beginning, and you can change this back to a full. Okay, no, that's weird. Okay, let's just leave it like this. This looks good as far as I know, and this will be our hurt. Let's name it hurt, and then now so hurt will be having another FSM, and this will be for a duration of 1 second, and we'll turn the looping off. Let's go to scene view and hit simulate. Okay, that looks okay. So it's a duration of 1 second, so we don't need an FSM for this. I mean, I was creating an FSM for the self deactivation, so you can create a prefab for this. Go to the project window and go to particle prefabs and drag this. Ouch. Okay, drag hurt into the prefabs and go to the Playmaker, and let's create a empty game object inside hurt, and then drag it back to the main camera, then delete the hurt game object, and this will be our hurt spawn. So now let's go to this and then create object. Okay, create object, and we will be creating hurt. Make sure that you select the correct thing and go to scene, spawn, yeah, hurt spawn. So that should do. Make sure you save and then hit play. And this should work as we jump onto that. Okay, a little laggy. I guess. So let's just jump, and you can see that the hurt is generated and was on for 1 second. So that is basically that completes our hurt canvas tutorial, and now we will be doing a GUI stuff. So let's just go to the player, the main camera. Actually, let's just create a UI element, which is a canvas, and yeah, go to the canvas and create a sprite, and this sprite should be something. Okay, maybe this should do. Okay, so this is our basic canvas. As you drag it, make sure that it appears on the screen. I'm not sure exactly where to place it. You can change the position. Actually, you can even change this to screen space camera and drag the main camera in to here, and you can see that right here. So this canvas and this byte, and we will be, ouch, that is too far away. You can put it in front of the camera if you like it. So that will be world space, and you can drag this, ouch, drag this into the main camera, and then you can reset its position so that it moves to the main camera. Now you can scale it down. As you can see, it's very big, and position is not quite well. So the sprite we are going to create is going to be right in front of the camera, or let's just create a sprite in front of the camera, which will be more easier to do than making a canvas. So you can drag this right away, and you can see it, and it will be attached to the camera. So you can scale it down and make sure that it is red in color so that it signifies the player health. So let's add a tab so that I can see what exactly is going on in the game view. So this is going to be our health. We will be linking the global variable called player health to this particular sprite, and the X scale is going to be depending upon, you can see that this is the way the health bar actually diminishes. So let's just proceed. Let's give it a value. Let's call it health bar. Let's create an FSM for this. And that is basically get. Actually, you can set scale to, we actually have an integer for the health, so we will be converting an integer to float so that we can use it to set the scale and name it health as well every frame, and then make sure that it goes at the first, and then you set the scale to health every frame. And this is completely like, if you start the game it will be very less or more because you can see that the health variable is 100, so that sets the scale to 100, which is beyond infinity. So let's get rid of that. And we'll do a float multiply. And the health divided by 0.01. So that should help. At least we should be able to see a lesser bar. You can see that the scale is set to 1, but it's still too big. So let's just further decrease it. 0.005, something like that. You can tweak these settings, you can save it in a variable, and you can change that in the inspector menu as well. Actually, let's directly change it. 0.001, so that is better. This is more better. So 0.0005 is the value that actually looks better for O3. You can change it according to your preference. So I'll be setting this to this value. And now if I hit play, and if I you can see that the health decreased as I jumped from a higher surface to a lower surface and my legs hurt. So that is basically how you can create the player hurt based on force. So if it was a more lower platform, we will see a significant change in the scale of the player's health. So you can see that the health has changed, and we can do another thing. We can go to Playmaker, to the health FSM that we created, and add. This is basically set to -5, but we can do another thing. We can actually use this force to apply to the amount that the player gets hurt. So let's not actually so we'll be taking the float, which is the force that we hit the platform, and we'll be applying that to reduce the force, so to reduce the health. So let's create a float let's create a okay, this is an integer, so let's just convert float to int, so that should work. Hit force integer, no, not the health, but we will be reduction value, so this will be our reduction value every frame, and I'll be keeping this at the first, and integer add reduction value, and we'll be doing a int multiply, I guess, because we have a minus sign right here, so we can't write minus variable. So integer operator, yeah, so we'll be taking this, and we'll say reduction value into -1 will be our new reduction value. So we'll be taking this as the reduction value, and that's it. So let's save the scene and play it for checking whether the force applied changes. So you can see that there is a significant amount of health being reduced. So that is basically all for this tutorial. So I'll be seeing you in the next tutorial, and we will be modifying this particular health bar. We will be adding a more dynamic health bar, a canvas, and we'll be creating an ammo counter, as well as we will be making a ammo pickup object, so that we can go do that and pick up ammo and reload and stuff. We will be adding all that stuff in the next tutorial. So this will be Crossfire signing out. See you in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more tutorials. Bye.